Well, Detroit Lions fans can now say, "Who's your daddy?" to the Green Bay Packers fans, because they sure showed them who is boss. One big thing from the Thursday night game for each team, as far as Detroit goes, I think it's obvious for Jahmyr Gibbs. You're not going to be able to start him going forward with any kind of confidence. It's not that he's not playable or anything like that, just more of a bye week type of guy for now. The only thing I will say about that is this was the type of game script that would not favor Jahmyr Gibbs getting used more, so there is that little glimmer of hope, but we do expect Detroit to be a good team and play from a lead most of the time this season, so yeah, going to be a little bit harder to get Jahmyr Gibbs out there. And for the Green Bay Packers, well, it was a Thursday night game. It got out of hand quickly. So for me, it's a little tough to take too much away from this game. Not that I don't have a whole lot of takeaways, but I think the one silver lining for fantasy football owners of Jordan Love would just be the fact that it was not a good game, but he still had a pretty solid fantasy game. This should be a relatively quick video, so let's get on to the injury report. And at the end of the video, I will give you my DFS lineup of the week. So I just had my running back rankings over on the right-hand side of the screen. Another big gap over there between me and the rankings. Oh well, now it is the wide receiver rankings, and then I'll have the quarterbacks up at some point and the tight ends. These are my most up-to-date rankings. Haven't really juggled them around too much this week. I've been working on my projections all day, every day, so that's taken a little bit of my attention, but there hasn't been too much. I've still looked at them, just hasn't been too much to move around, and I have moved them around a little bit since the videos. So, injury report. Arizona, Marquise Brown, thumb. He went from full to limited for the last 2 days of practice. He is questionable as of now. I don't know what the likelihood of him playing or not is. I wouldn't change a whole lot for any other guy's rankings if he's not playing for me. Just maybe a little bit more confidence if you were to be rolling with one of the other receivers, I suppose. As for Baltimore, we have Rashad Bateman out with a hamstring, and OBJ is out with an ankle. I have not been ranking them all week, so that doesn't change anything in the rankings. And Justice Hill is questionable with a foot. Yeah, I'm just staying away from that backfield in general. Then for Carolina, Bryce Young was a full participant this week. He will be playing. I did not end up moving Miles Sanders back in my rankings. I'm just less optimistic about a big game from him. Wide receivers, I dropped all of them. It's a good matchup at least, so I have hope for them. And I did not move the tight end, Hayden Hurst. Then DJ Shark was on the injury report for a minute. It was a non-injury thing, same with Adam Thielen, so they're fine. Jonathan Mingo has coming back from a concussion, limited participant all week, so I would say it's quite possible that he'll get back. And then Miles Sanders is questionable with the groin injury, so just make sure that he is a go. I didn't check. I assume the Carolina game's probably an early game, so you should be good to find that kind of information out before any major decisions need to be made about playing him or not with being questionable. And Cincinnati, Irv Smith is out again this week. And for Cleveland, it is an early game, so that's a good thing for the Deshaun Watson owners that are planning on playing him. He is questionable. If he were to not play, that would mean rookie DTR, I can't think of his name right now, Thompson Robinson would be the quarterback, and so that would shift things for me. I would move Elijah Moore back into just a desperation play, essentially. Amari Cooper would go from being a wide receiver 1 there all the way to a wide receiver 3. So guys that I would probably play ahead of him, one of them's on this list, Terry McLaurin down there at wide receiver 34, a couple behind him, Marquise Brown, Cortland Sutton. I would play them over Amari Cooper in the event that Deshaun Watson's not playing. However, I would still trust and go with Amari Cooper over guys like Drake London and Jahan Dotson. Unless I'm absolutely looking for a ceiling, then I guess you could take the super risky shot on Jahan Dotson. And if I was planning on playing David Njoku, I'd probably just roll with it and see what happens. Rookie quarterbacks tend to like tight ends a fair bit, And then as far as running back Jerome Ford goes, from a low-end running back 2 for me to a running back 3, because I would have some concerns about this offense being consistent, being able to drive the ball. The silver lining there is that DTR is a running quarterback. He's got some good wheels on him, so he could probably keep drives alive and help to get Jerome Ford into scoring position. But I'd still be, I don't have a whole lot of faith in Jerome Ford, so I'd still be scared about it. Dallas, Tony Pollard, if you saw that he popped up on the injury report, is non-injury, so he's all good to go. And for Denver, Jerry Jeudy was a limited participant twice this week, and have not gotten the Friday injury report in, but it doesn't seem like there's much concern surrounding that. He should be fine. Detroit played on Thursday night, but there is an update for them. Player Jameson Williams, wide receiver, is now eligible to be coming back in Week 5 instead of Week 6. He is someone that you could grab if you need help at wide receiver. I wouldn't go out and make some sort of crazy moves to get him onto your team, but, there's a lot of upside with Jameson Williams that's very much been unrealized so far, but there hasn't been too many opportunities for that to be realized either, so... he's someone who you're definitely not planning on playing Week 1 or probably Week 2 or 3 even. Most likely you'll have to be patient with him and just see if it pans out. But there's a big upside there. And then Indianapolis, Richardson is going to be starting this week. And for Jacksonville, Zay Jones is once again going to be out. Have had it ranked like that all week, so no changes there. Las Vegas, Jimmy Graham, concussion questionable. I would call this a 50-50 affair. They've been pretty optimistic about it all week, so... we'll see. Usually I don't quite think it's a 50-50. Usually I just consider them out until there's reason to think that they might be coming back, and so I think there is reason to think that Jimmy could make it back this week. Los Angeles Chargers, Austin Eckler with an ankle injury, still doubtful this week. It was looking kind of optimistic throughout the week, but at the end of the day, he is doubtful, so about a 5% chance the team thinks that he'll be playing. And Keenan Allen was limited on Friday, but he's supposed to be fine and playing. In fact, the report that I saw said he is playing, but I just want to be a little bit cautious with that. So, supposed to be fine. Then Los Angeles Rams, Tyler Higbee has an Achilles injury. He's questionable. I believe that popped up throughout the week, so I'm not too optimistic about that. But the questionable tag's good. And Cooper Kupp will begin practicing next week. So, basically... don't know what exactly that means, but at the very least, he's not behind schedule, it would appear, to be coming back as soon as Week 5. And then for Miami, Salvon Ahmed has a groin injury. He is questionable, so unless we hear something, pay attention to news ahead of games always, because big reports do come out sometimes like 5 minutes before kickoff. But his return to the team should not scare you away from Devon Achane for two reasons. First of all, what Devon Achane just did last week. So I have to get used to it. It's Achane. He's made a very hard case for the team to not play him some. And then he's also a guy who just takes one big play for him to be fantasy relevant that week. And that's going to be always true of him. Then New Orleans, Derek Carr, questionable. Same thing. I think, is he really questionable? Doesn't Derek Carr have the AC joint injury? I don't think he's going to play. So I have not been, I have Jameis Winston down here at quarterback 22, so I'm not optimistic about that, but he is only questionable at least. And on Monday Night Football, Saquon Barkley is looking to be coming back. He's had 2 limited practices on Thursday and Friday with that ankle injury, so we'll see where that goes. And Philadelphia does have an early game, so if there is anything that pops up about Devonta Smith, then you'll know about it. But he was just did not participate on Thursday, limited participant on Friday with an illness, so he should be fine. And Pittsburgh, Allen Robinson with an ankle injury, did not participate, limited participant. I think maybe I didn't get a Friday injury report on that, because I know I looked up their injury report just a little bit ago. San Francisco, Deebo Samuel, ribs, did not participate ×3. He is questionable. If he does not play, Ayuk will jump up 5 spots to wide receiver 15 for me, right ahead of DK Metcalf, and I've already bumped Kittle up ahead of Ingram in my rankings right over there for the tight ends. Point at my computer screen like that helps you. As if you couldn't find where the rankings are on the screen. Anyways, I had Ingram. I talked about it in the tight ends rankings video. If you really want to pester me on that, whatever. But either way, George Kittle, you should play. Elijah Mitchell, knee injury, did not participate. That popped up on Friday. He's questionable, so that doesn't seem too good for him. So obviously, I think fire up your Christian McCaffreys if I had to guess. Probably, probably have a good game. That helps. Then Seattle, Monday Night Football, DK Metcalf, ribs, did not participate. This is an ongoing rib thing. Don't know if there's been a flare-up or anything like that. I don't recall him being not participating in previous weeks, so I don't know. Seems like it's just a rest day for now. And Friday report has not come out, so we'll see what happens on Friday. And that's going to bring us up to my DFS lineup. And last week's lineup sucked. It was very specifically a big tournament play kind of lineup, so there was a lot of risk with it, and the risk did not pay off. As far as this week's lineup goes, I spent up for a few spots and then went dirt cheap in a lot of spots. So I spent for Tua Tagovailoa 7,400 going up against Buffalo. I really didn't like. I'm probably not going to be putting any money bets. I'll probably just be taking the free tournaments this week on DK. I don't really like the makeup of everything this week at least for the Sunday slate. So, Tua, and then I paired that up with Jalen Waddle at 7,600 to double up on that because I did not want to spend up for Tyreek Hill. I didn't even try that, but that really wouldn't have worked because I did also spend up for Christian McCaffrey at 9,200. Didn't love a lot of the running backs in there for the costs especially. Then I also spent 6,300, which is not exactly cheap at the running back spot, for James Cook. So I've been working on my projections and my expected ranges, and I know there's the ceilings I don't think I have up here to show, but James Cook up there, this is a high floor-ish kind of in this expected range. Maybe not the highest ceiling, but I thought his ceiling was pretty high as well. So I just went with James Cook based off of my recollection, not even double-checking what I saw from some of my projections from him that I just was building all week. Then Tyler Boyd in at wide receiver at 4,100 and Marvin Mims at $3,900 for my 2 wide receiver slots, and Logan Thomas for 31. I like him a fair bit, always and ever. And then a flex spot, I got Tank Dell at 4,600. This is the last spot I filled. And for my DST, I went with Cincinnati going up against Tennessee. Didn't really like the DSTs a whole lot, and I knew I chose that after I spent up at a few spots, so I knew I didn't want to quite spend up for it's 1 or 2 good DSTs, and that's kind of it. So that is my lineup for this week. We'll see how it does. Peace out. Thank you very much. I will come visit me 1 hour prior to kickoff. Should have said that at the beginning of the video. But if you did make it this far and heard that, then I think you should drop a like on the video. Thank you. Peace out.